tend to not pay as much attention to is the strength training and building the muscle. And if we're going to strength train and build a muscle, we got to have our protein. And that's important in so many ways. Because like I said, when we start, especially as we start to get older, we start to lose muscle mass. And we don't want to do that. Not only do we not want to lose it, we want to actually build more muscle mass, and that'll help get rid of, eat away at the fat and all that stuff like that. But it's so much more than that. And protein plays such a important part in a lot of what we like, so many levels. It's not just muscle mass. So one of the key components of protein is amino acids, and it's actually the building block of the protein. And it does a lot of things in our body. So one of the many things that it does is what we just touched on. It helps build muscle mass. It helps repair tissue, and it helps to maintain healthy organs, right? So when we build the muscle through the strength training, that actually rips apart and tears our muscle down. So when we replenish the protein, we eat the lean meats or we have a protein drink, it helps build that muscle back up, right? So, and that's what makes it bigger and stronger. Another thing that the amino acids in protein does, it helps with hormone production. I think all of us, I think Gabrielle might be the baby of the bunch, but a lot of us are women of a certain age. So we're either perimenopausal, menopausal, we somewhere in that gamut, right? So hormone production is really, really important. So that's another reason why we need the protein in our system. Another great thing that it does is it helps the amino acids in the protein. It produces the chemical in our brain that's responsible for regulating our mood, our sleep, and our cognitive functions. So I know we don't think about eating meat or having protein as a mood booster, but it actually does help with the chemicals that's in our brains that actually regulate our mood, our sleep, and our cognitive functions. It also helps us maintain healthy skin, healthy hair, healthy nails, because it has the collagen in it. So that's also super important. And one that's really close to my heart, it helps regulate blood sugar. And the key to that, like whenever we eat carbohydrates, you should never eat carbohydrates without having protein with it. So for example, if I'm eating an apple, I drizzle it with peanut butter. Or let's say if you're eating whatever and this is whether you have diabetes or not, this does not matter. Always try to pair your carbohydrates up with the protein, because it's going to help reduce that spike in the blood sugar. It's going to have it be a little bit more of a straight line and regulated versus a huge spike that the carb is going to get it. That protein is going to help level that out. So you want to always pair your carbohydrates with a protein. And then protein is also great for bone health. So that's a lot about what the protein is and why it's important. Do y'all have any questions about that? Because I do want this to be live and interactive. So
I do.
Yes.
When it comes to, like you said, the apple would be the fruit, correct? So you're just pretty much saying protein with with everything we're eating, and then you said put peanut butter on it. What are your thoughts on that?
With carbs. So even though apple is very, very good for you and it is a fruit, it's also a carbohydrate. So for example, for somebody like myself who is diabetic, I want to reduce that spike in the blood sugar that the apple is going to cause. So how I can help minimize that is by pairing it with protein. So whether that is cheese, nuts, or yogurt, or peanut butter. I just mentioned peanut butter because that's my favorite way to eat my apples, with drizzle some peanut butter and some cinnamon. Makes it tasty. I'm getting my fruit. That's also a carbohydrate, but I'm also getting my protein with the peanut butter. So that's what helps. Like yes, fruit is great, right? Fruit is healthy for us, but at the same time, it has sugar in it. Therefore, it's automatically a carbohydrate. So anytime you eat a carb, you want to pair that carbohydrate with protein. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes. My next thing, because I know I used to hang out with a bunch of people that were keto, that had diabetes, and they were talking about how they were eating fat and meat and pork and cheese, and I'm like, you're eating that, and they were losing weight. Are you familiar with that keto stuff and diabetes at all?
Absolutely. When I tell you I have tried everything, I have tried everything, including keto, right? So, what happens is with keto, they're going to go into ketosis. They're going to automatically lower their blood sugar. They're going to automatically lose weight. Why? Because they're not eating carbohydrates. Carbohydrates turn into sugar in our blood, in our system, and it can cause us to gain weight, right? However, here's my thing, and this is my personal opinion, right? I feel like keto is not sustainable. And here's why I say that is because at some point, is there anything in your life that you can absolutely like say, I'm never ever going to have this thing ever again in my whole life, right? And what I struggled with personally in my journey of trying keto is, okay, if I'm going to cut out the cookies and the cake and the rice and the this and the that, I need something. So to tell me that I can't have fruit, which is something that comes from the earth, which is something that God created, it just wasn't sustainable for me. Now, like I said, yes, is it going to help your blood sugar? Yes, because you're not eating carbohydrates. You're only eating vegetables. Like some of them will even limit their vegetables to next to nothing. And to me, any diet that eliminates fruits and vegetables, I feel like it's not a good thing. Like I know, yes, they're going to get immediate results. I know they're going to get fast results, but do we want fast results or do we want effective long-term results? That's what we have to ask ourselves when it comes to that. And again, this is a lot of my personal experience and opinion.
A lot of them that I saw, they were like skinny fat. I noticed they didn't have muscle. They were small, like a lot of pounds smaller, but they just had that skinny fat thing going on. What are your thoughts on, because I know people who like do it to lose the weight and then go to regular eating. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not good. You're not going to maintain the weight loss. It's just think about it. Like it's almost the equivalent of like, let's think of it like this. If you lose weight by starving yourself, like I'm just not going to eat. I'm only going to drink water and I'm going to drink, that's it. I'm gonna drink water for 40 days. We're going to do like Jesus did and drink water for 40 days. Are we going to lose weight? Yes, we absolutely are. Right. But as soon as you put a piece of food in your mouth, no matter what it is, guess what's going to happen? All of that weight's coming back. Not only is that weight going to come back, in most cases, that weight and then some comes back because now your body is like, oh, let me store all of this up just in case she decides to starve me again. Like, I don't know what's going to happen again. And so it stores it all up. So most people who do ultra restrictive diets, whether it's keto, whether it's something else, most cases, if it's, I'm all about sustainable. And if it's not something that you can look at and say, I can do this for the rest of my life, then it's not sustainable. And as soon as you go back to your old habits, you're just going to go back to gaining the weight. And in most cases, you're going to gain back more than you lost the first time. And that's also my personal experience too. So I personally don't suggest that.
I am complete. Thank you for answering my questions. Passing the mic to the next person.
All right. Thank you. Those were awesome questions too. I'm glad you asked. Does anybody else have questions? Nope. Okay. Awesome. Huh?
Is protein shakes good, boo?
I would say yes. I would say yes, as long as it's coming from a good source. You want to have it's funny because I have show and tell tonight too. I came with show and tell. So if you're gonna do protein shakes, you want to read the ingredients list and you want to try to go for something that's as clean as possible. Who has a TV in the back? Mom, I think your TV is in the background, so turn that down some. You want to go with something that has really clean ingredients. And depending on what your personal goal is, I would also say really watch the sugar. Watch the sugar and the carbs that's in it. This is just something I think my husband must have bought this. This is something we just happen to have in our pantry. And based on our conversation earlier, Gabrielle, this is a plant-based protein, just so you know, if you want to look at it. It's Garden of Life. It's protein. It's plant-based. And for this one, it does not have any added sugars in it. It has stevia. It's sweetened with stevia. So it only has one scoop is only 6 grams of carbohydrates, 0 added sugar. So that's what you want to look for. You want to make sure that it is clean You don't want because that's the other thing we'll talk about soon about processed foods. You want to kind of eliminate or at least limit. I don't want to say eliminate, but limit your processed foods, or at least start reading your labels, because you want to know what you're putting in your body. If it's a bunch of chemicals, and I've said this over and over again, you're going to hear me say it over and over again. If it's a bunch of chemicals that you can't even pronounce the words, then you don't need to put it in your body, because our body is not made to process that stuff. So a lot of times when we are struggling with certain issues with digesting things, or let's say a lot of times even with like, say, for example, sometimes people are being diagnosed with food allergies and they're like, wait a second, I've been able to eat this my whole life. Why am I now allergic to this particular food? It's not that you're allergic. Sometimes qualify by saying sometimes it's not the food that you're allergic to. It's the things that they're using on the food to either create it or consider it maybe a GMO, which means that it was produced in a lab. So you don't know how they produced it. Or like it could be the pesticides or the chemicals they use on it to preserve it. That could be the thing that you're really allergic to, because so many people nowadays have food allergies. And I've heard so many people say, but I've been eating this all my life. Why am I now all of a sudden allergic to this particular food? It has something to do with how they're processing that food a lot of times. So since I started show and tell already, I'm going to continue with show and tell. So if you saw me put in my breakfast this morning, so I always start my day with coffee. I'm not a huge breakfast person, but I do eat breakfast, but it's usually a little bit later, which also is fine because if we're fasting. But I do start my day with coffee too. With my coffee, I'm sorry, I meant to bring that. I didn't bring my coffee, my protein. Okay, if y'all want, I'll grab it. But I start my coffee, I have it black, and then I have this vanilla protein shake. It's called Jocko Mark. But we're going to talk about brands in a minute. But the one that I've been using, it's clean. It's sweetened with monk fruit. So instead of using the coffee creamers that are loaded in sugar, I use that in my coffee. It's a protein drink. So I'm getting protein in my coffee while I'm also cutting the sugar, right? So that's one way. So I think my breakfast and my coffee together today was like 530 something calories, but it was 51 grams of protein. How did I get to 51 grams of protein with one meal? Okay, then I had chicken sausage. So I had 4 chicken sausage links. I had 3 large eggs, and then my silver bullet is cottage cheese. Yes, I know you're probably saying, ew, that's gross, right? I said that about a year ago. I would have been saying, ew, that's gross too. I was like, I do not like cottage cheese.
How much protein is in cottage cheese, by the way?
Say again?
How much protein is in cottage cheese? Because I'm like whoever else is saying, yuck to cottage cheese. But if it's a lot of protein, let me know.
Okay, so a half a cup is 13 grams. And here's how I eat it. I don't eat it plain, because if I eat it plain, I'm going to say yuck, right? So what I do is I scramble my eggs. And then when my eggs are almost done, I scoop the cottage cheese in the eggs and scramble the eggs with the cottage cheese, season it up really good. You don't even taste the cottage cheese. But I do a half a cup. And now that I am used to the taste of the cottage cheese, I'll even take like a tablespoon I take that half a cup, measure out a half a cup, a tablespoon of it I put on this seeded toast that I have. And the seeded toast by itself is only 1 slice. So it has like 3 grams of protein there. Then between my half a cup of cottage cheese, I have a little bit of that on my toast, and I sprinkle to make it taste better, like bagel seasoning on it. And that, to me, I've gotten used to the taste. But the silver bullet is putting this in my scrambled eggs, because then you don't really taste it. And you're getting, like in this case, I get 13 grams of protein on top of the grams of protein that I'm getting from the eggs, on top of the chicken sausage that has the protein. So that's how I get to, and then of course my coffee already had protein in it as well. So that's how I got to 51 grams of protein just off of one meal. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
and last week I was watching of cooking video of someone who does cooking TikToks, and the way he did his eggs, he put cottage cheese in them.
There you go.
He said the same thing. You can't taste it.
You
It
don't
tastes
taste
really
it.
good.
because all you're going to taste is your eggs and whatever seasoning you put in it. So you're not going to taste that. And again, like I said, I do measure out the half a cup. So that's 13 grams of protein for me. Then I do 3 eggs. So however many, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how many one large egg, how much protein is one large egg, but it's quite a bit.
I think 3 is 21 grams of
Okay,
protein.
so there you go. So 21 plus 13, I'm already at 36, right? What? 21 plus 13, I'm at 34 right there, just for my eggs. And then I have the chicken sausage. I do have a little small piece of toast that I also put a little bit of that cottage cheese on. And the toast is like 3 grams of protein. So that's not a huge, but if I'm gonna have bread, I do like maybe Dave's Killer Bread or something like that, something that I can look for that has protein in it. So I never do white bread. I'm not going to do just like, wheat bread. It's got to have something that's going to have the seeds in it. It has a little extra protein in it. And then when I talked about the apples and the peanut butter, I don't use like Jiffy. It's not going to be Jiffy because Jiffy has sugar in it. What you want to do is look for natural peanut butter. Like this peanut butter only has peanuts and salt. No sugar. So it's only 5 grams of protein. 5 grams of carbohydrates, but 2 tablespoons is 8 grams of protein. So if I'm having an apple, I'm having 8 grams of protein as well, right? Some other little things that I found, these are like for the people who just need something and maybe want to snack a little. This was something that was, these 2 things I'm about to show you, they were new discoveries. And this was just me solely experimenting a couple of months back and just looking for ways that I can sneak protein in through the course of the day. So you know how some people will have tea in the afternoon? I started doing bone broth in the afternoon instead of tea. You make it just like tea. It's like a little packet. Hold on. It's like a little individual packet. You pour it in hot water, stir it up. Tastes like soup, but it's, it doesn't have anything in it. And this little packet has 10 grams of protein in it. And for us who are all about skin and hair and all that, it also has 5 grams of collagen in it as well. So that's another way. If I feel like I'm running low on protein, I'll sneak in.
I'm gonna need you to drop that in our WhatsApp chat just because of the collagen.
Okay. No problem. I'll drop that in the chat. Another one that I found recently, and I found this one at Aldi's. I'm not like promoting stores, but I found this one at Aldi's. I'm not really a Slim Jim fan, but again, I was just looking for ways where I could get protein. So I came across this brand. It's called Chomps, right? It's like little meat sticks, almost like a Slim Jim, right? These are the small ones. They actually have long ones too. And it comes from grass-fed beef, so it's cleaner. It doesn't have any sugar in it. Just one of these teeny little sticks is 4 grams of protein and only 45 calories. But they have the individual ones that are like probably like this long, and that has like 10 grams of protein in it. And again, some of these, I'll keep these in my purse. So that way, if I'm out and about somewhere, and I want to have a quick snack and I just want the protein, I'll just pop one open and have that as a snack. But it just comes from playing with different ideas, right? Just being creative. How else can I get protein? Okay, if you're a smoothie drinker, throw some avocado in that smoothie when you blend it. Avocado is a great source of protein. The protein powder we already talked about. Also have these, which are chia seeds. Throw a tablespoon of chia seeds in your yogurt. Put chia seeds in your smoothie. And I think, Tina, didn't you post how to soak them the right way in the chat earlier today? So look because you don't want to just eat them like this. You want to soak them first because they expand once they get wet. So yeah, chia seeds are also like, say, for example, I think a tablespoon of these would be 4 grams of protein, but it's okay. That's every little bit counts. So these are just some of the ways that I kind of sneak in protein throughout the day. Did anybody have questions about those or anything you want to add? Because I do, like I said, I want this to be interactive.
I do want to add
How much protein should we consume in a day?
So we talked about that last night. Right now we want to aim for at least 100 grams of protein a day.
Yes, Brenda, it's individual, but it's hard for us, and it kind of goes by your body weight. But start with 100 because that's hard enough. But what I was going to say, Lord Jesus, I think I forgot that quick. I'm sorry, guys. You see, I'm flashing over here, right? I'm just like,
It's okay. It's just us ladies on here. It's all good.
I'm sweating more than I did on the walk. On the walk, I didn't even sweat this much.
Goodness.
Snacking. This is what I wanted to say. Super, super, super. Tray, super important for everyone on here. Snacking. No more snacking. There was a girl on here. She was like a keto freak. She was like, and she explained the reason why. And once she explained it, it made sense. And I love how you say we're going to snack. And if we do have the Slim Jim or something like that around, but we really, 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 really don't want to snack. And this is why. So you want to eat until you are full, not stuffed where you have to like undo your pants, but eat until you're full. If you finish eating and you're still eating, hello, continue eating. Your body wants more. Also, when you eat, say for example, this is a fork. Put it in your mouth, put the fork down and breathe. Sometimes, that's me sometimes because I wait to the last minute. Take it, put it down. Take the next scoop. Take at least 20 minutes minimum because they say that's when your brain knows that you're eating and it regulates, okay, I'm eating now, and it knows. Also, another thing that's super important is chew your food. So try to chew it for like 20 times because what that does is it helps it digest a lot quicker. Once it gets to your stomach, all the acids in your stomach doesn't have to work that fast. So you don't want to snack because you want to have 4 hours minimum with nothing in your system. So you want to eat 4 hours, eat again, 4 hours. Now this means you got to plan your food, especially if you're doing that intermittent fasting of 12 to 16 hours, right? And trust me guys, it is like, it's just one little thing you have to turn to make this thing in your life and make your body change. I remember when I started having to change things, I did 12-hour window fasting. That was like a norm for me, just normal. And I was hanging out with a lot of women that were 50 and they were telling me things they were doing. And one of them, she said, intermittent fast, she said, separate out your window. And then they talked about this keto stuff or whatever. So for 1 week, and I'll put the video in the chat. Oh, the special potion, that's what it was. I'll put the video in the chat. She said she does this potion of like apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper, whole bunch of stuff, and no snacking and no carbs. I did that for 1 week, and 1 week I lost 7 pounds just from spreading out my window because my body was used to that 12-hour window and taking this drink every night. Girl, I woke up, I was like, what? Like my stomach was flat just from drinking this at night and in the morning on an empty stomach. So just the main point of that whole conversation is really, 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 really focus on not snacking. And
Okay, so I'm gonna give you two. If you're a reader, or even if you like you watch YouTube videos or what have you, there's a book called Fast Like a Girl. I can't remember the author's name. And then there's a doctor who's on YouTube named Dr. Jason Fung, Fung. So he breaks down the fasting and why we need to, like Tina just said, not snack, right? So it talks. Sorry. Oh, Mindy P. Pills. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's that book right there. So we're not gonna we can talk about this in more detail, but basically every time you eat food, whether it's it don't matter what you eat, you elevate your insulin levels, right? And as long as your insulin levels are elevated, your body stores fat or produce fat or whatever it is, right? So every time you eat, insulin goes up. You keep eating, insulin goes up. Keep eating, insulin goes up, right? So you want to give your body a break from eating so you're not constantly at a high insulin level. Because if you're trying to lose weight and your insulin level, and this is whether you're diabetic or not, it does not matter if you're diabetic. If you're constantly eating and your insulin level stays elevated at all times, you're going to struggle losing weight. So that's why what Tina just said is so important. You want to give your body a break from eating, not just the 12 hours at night, but even in between. So yeah, she's definitely right. You want to limit or eliminate your snacking because every time you put something in your mouth, your insulin goes up. So that whole story that they told us years ago that we need to eat every 2 to 3 hours, 3 meals, 3 snacks a day, like throw that out the window, okay? Unless you have a medical issue where you're going to pass out or something if you don't eat, that's different. So yeah, so since we're talking about fasting, and then it's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Since we're talking about fasting, next week we're gonna start fasting on. We're gonna challenge ourselves, right? This is a challenge, right? So we're gonna challenge ourselves. Right now we're doing the 20 at least 12 hours, with no eating every day. So what we're gonna do is starting on Sundays, we're gonna do 20, those who want to join us are going to do a 24-hour fast, right? So say, for example, if your last meal on Sunday is 5 o'clock, you're going to challenge yourself to not eat again until 5 o'clock the next day. This is going to only water. Like, you can have water. Obviously, don't dehydrate yourself. So you want water. But yeah, so we're going to do a 24-hour fast starting each Sunday for those who want to join us on that. And again, it's just about giving our body a break. We're not going to starve. I promise you're not going to starve. I did a 24-hour fast. Funny story. I did a 24-hour fast once before, and it was totally by accident because I was working on intermittent fasting and my goal was 18 hours. But my daughter went on a trip to Canada for school, and I was so stressed out because my baby left me for the first time and was out of the country that I didn't eat. It was over 24 hours, and before I realized I didn't eat, I was like, and I just played it off. I'm like, oh, I was fasting. No, I was stressed out is what I was, but it was okay. It worked. But at the end of the day, I promise you can do it, and you're not going to starve. It's more about the mental. Our book, right, of the month is mental toughness. So it's really about the mental toughness. And once you realize that you can go without food and your body's not going to break down, you'll be able to do it more often. And again, that is a huge part because we want to give our digestive system a break. We work it over time, and sometimes it just needs a break. So that's something that we're going to start this Sunday, a 24-hour fast from 5 or whatever time you stop eating. Like if you stop eating at 4 and the earlier you stop eating, the earlier you can eat the next day. So whatever that time frame is for you, have your meal, then stop, and then just shoot a goal to go for 24 hours. Now, when I talked about protein, right? We're big on having a clean source, especially if you're going to do, say, for example, protein shakes or whatever. Like I said, I haven't even used this. This just happened to be in my pantry. I'm assuming my husband bought it. But we have a product line as well that has completely clean protein. And also all the ingredients are clean. It's actually manufactured in Europe. So that way, I don't know if you understand like how the FDA approves things over here, but compared to in Europe, a lot of things that we eat here, it's banned over there because they already know it's toxic and we shouldn't be eating it. So their standards are much higher. So if you want more information about that product, we can get that to you. Tina, if you want to share more about that, I'll leave that to you because I'm still, learning about that. But it's a great source of protein. There's other products as well. It's well, there are other products as well, but I did want to mention that since we were talking about meal replacements and products. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's pea protein, correct, Tina? So that it is vegan as well. So it's not
Pea
it's
cranberry.
a vegan.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is. I found the video. If you guys want me to show it really quick, it's 3 minutes for that. What I was saying.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and show it.
Awesome. Let's see. This is can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, so do you want to know how I lost 8 pounds in 1 week? Stay tuned. Okay, it was 8 pounds, not 7. Hello, hello, hello. I am Stars Tina, and I'm super excited to share with you my little secret master flush cleanse. Okay, now I can't take total credit for this little recipe here because I've pretty much taken ideas from multiple people, multiple sources to come up with this wonderful concoction, I guess you can call it. Anyway, first ingredient I want you to get is apple cider vinegar with the mother. Super important that you buy the right product. And the apple cider vinegar is good for vitamin C and it has potassium in it as well. You also want to get cayenne pepper. Now you're probably saying, well, how much should you put in? Half a teaspoon me. I just do a little shakety shake. Ain't nobody got time for that measuring stuff, but you should definitely measure. Okay? So you have the cayenne pepper, and cayenne pepper is good for mucus. It breaks it up. And then you have cumin, not cinnamon, but cumin. Cumin right here, this promotes digestion. Now when it comes to your belly, you want everything to flow out. So that's why cumin is very important. Now I did say cinnamon, right? Yes, I want cinnamon. This is an added bonus ingredient that I put in. Now the cinnamon, this helps lower blood sugar. We all want to have those levels nice, right? And then you have turmeric. Turmeric is good for it's an anti-inflammatory. So this is really good to get you nice and smooth. Now, lemon, good for taste. Also, it just tastes really good. Add lemon in there. And then I added an extra little spice myself. This is ginger. So what I did was I put my ginger in my blender here, in my juicer. You really don't need that much. And the ginger is good for weight loss. So I personally like to do it in this 22-ounce bottle of water. Super important that you use a straw. When you put the straw all the way in your mouth. Behind your teeth. Very important because you don't want your teeth to get yellow. You don't want them to get yellow. You don't want them to get stained. And you brush your teeth right after. Now, when are you going to take this? I personally take it first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed. That's what I suggest. You can do it morning or night, but if you want the most results, early in the morning, late at night. And one more tip. Are you ready? The master tip of how you're going to lose 8 pounds in 1 week. Intermittent fasting. That's what I did. From 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., intermittent fasting, and I sliced my carbs in half. So if you want to know how to lose 8 pounds in 1 week, let me recap. My master juice, as soon as I wake up in the morning and at night, 11 to 7 is my window of eating with very, very poquito carbs. All right, I am Saracina. Hope this is adding value to you. Peace in a bottle of hair grease. Bye.
Agree, disagree?
That was absolutely amazing. I 100% agree with that recipe. I used to do something very similar to that. Only difference is I didn't have the cumin and the turmeric in it, but I have all that here, so I'm gonna make that tonight. I'm gonna
I
make
was
that
thinking the
tonight.
same thing. All of that is in my house right now. I'm going to do that
Exactly.
tonight.
Trust me, because I'm a fanatic with the scale, unfortunately. I took it at night on it, like right before I went to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, it was like, whoa, like magic. Give it a shot. Let me know how it is in tomorrow morning.
All right, we'll do. I'm definitely gonna do that. But listen, ladies, this is really. Does anybody have any questions? Because that's really all I have for everybody tonight. I kind of designed this to be at least 30 to 45 minutes. And the last few seconds or last few minutes is made as, for Q&A or anything anybody wants to add. If you have a favorite way that you get your protein in or whatever, add it. Share with us. So I'm going to leave the next few minutes up to you guys if you have any questions or if you have anything you want to share.
No, good lesson.
Good.
I was saying she did so good.
Yes, she
Thank
did.
you.
That's
I have
my
a
daughter.
Yes.
So
That's
here's
my daughter.
here's the
stuff.
secret. I have a great coach.
That's my daughter.
Who said that?
But
Who
yes,
said that? Brenda?
yeah.
Yes,
Miss
that's my
Brenda?
daughter.
You said
That is my beautiful daughter.
Yes. So, all right. Well, ladies, if we don't have anything else, that is my lesson for the night. Let's go make this master juice flush for tomorrow.
I'll put it in the chat right here. I'll also put it in the regular chat, but for those of you in here, where'd it go? Where'd the chat go? It's here if you want to do a copy paste situation. Someone raise their hand.
I'm going to try this without cayenne pepper because I tried it before, but the cayenne pepper really tore my stomach. So it was like, I was going to the bathroom every time I had put something in my mouth, even if it was water.
Mm.
So
It helped
it
you
gave
poop.
me, I developed hemorrhoids from it.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So
iPhone
I'm
had a
going to try it, but without the cayenne pepper. I don't know if it's
get the results. I think cayenne pepper is the main ingredient, but give it a shot.
Is it?
That and the
That would make sense. Okay.
Yeah, that the apple cider vinegar, and another reason why, Tina, with the straw, another reason it'll the acid in the apple cider vinegar will actually break down the enamel of your teeth. So that's the straw is extremely important, and brushing your teeth after is extremely important. Even though the benefits, you want to still do it. Just use that straw and just try to, brush your teeth right after. But yeah, that's another reason for the straw is because the apple cider, the acid could damage the enamel to your teeth. But yes, very good. So I think I'm definitely gonna go make it before I go to bed, and I'm gonna probably make it again in the morning. Since I'm gonna be up at 5:30 in the morning working out.
Fasted cardio. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
No
And
question.
it's funny
Is
because
everybody
first day of
working
spring
out?
break for my kids. So usually when they go on spring break, I'm like, everybody turn your alarms off. We're not getting up early in the morning.
Brenda has a question.
Oh,
So
sorry. Go ahead.
question, is everybody in the gym at 5:30, or are we on Zoom at 5:30?
Right here.
Zoom.
I'm
Right
in
on the
the gym.
Zoom.
Everyone else is here. I'm the only one at the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm usually in the bed, Brenda, but I'm going to change that because if you want something different, you got to do something different. So I'm going to be here
Right.
in my living room at 5:30.
And to give you the
Okay.
format, Brenda, at 5:25 we start playing music. 5:30 we come on, we'll do a Bible verse, speak, see who wants to talk, and then we start with a little stretching and then get into the workout.
So how did I miss that this morning?
It's every morning.
I
Every
don't know.
morning, this Zoom link.
I was
Yeah.
looking for the Zoom link and I didn't see it, so
It's this one. It's this
I
one.
just did the 3-minute one. I mean the 3 mile with Leslie.
Right.
Okay.
Renee. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday is total body, and Tuesday, Thursday is cardio. And those that don't have a bike, will do a video.
Okay. All right.
And
That's
Carlissa, guess what?
what?
I was ready to break my jaw again this morning because the scale didn't go down. But I said, Tina, check your measurements. 3 inches down. Hey!
See, y'all, that's why we gotta weigh ourselves, measure ourselves, and because listen, non-scale victories to me are more exciting than the scale victories. Yes, we want to see the scale move. Trust me, I'd be ready to throw the scale out the window sometimes too.
And with
But
my arm, like a whole inch and a half off my arm.
see, there you go. So that's why it's so important to measure yourself and to take pictures. That's where I really see my results is when I take pictures, and then a few weeks later, I'm like, oh, okay, I see you. Go ahead, girl. So the pictures, the measurements, and the scale, because the scale will mess with you. The scale will have you ready to like fight somebody. So don't rely completely on the scale. You want to take your measurements. You want to take pictures of your front, your back, and your side from a side angle, so you can see that tummy go down. Like you want pictures from every angle. So yeah.
I think iPhone's been trying to say something. I could be wrong.
Kelly, were you saying something?
Yes, I took in everything, but being I have diverticulitis, I can't have like the nuts, can't have no corn, I can't do them seeds and all of that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it get down up in them little pockets, a girl will be in the hospital, and I can't be going through stuff like that. So I eat my eggs, I eat my cottage cheese, I eat avocados, I eat a lot of chicken and fish. Like I had a piece of steak tonight, so I probably won't eat it for a minute because I don't eat a lot of beef and I don't eat pork anymore.
Okay. Well, that's good because. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I stopped that because when I had the problems with my, when I had to have the surgery and stuff and all of this and going through all of that, I can't be eating certain stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like you're good on the protein side because you can still have your meat, you can still have your the eggs and the other sources. So it looks like you're fine. Don't worry about the things you can't eat. Just make good choices with the things that you can't eat. So yeah, it sounds like you're fine as far as protein is concerned because you can still do the lean meats and the eggs and things like that. So
yeah.
Yay.
All right. Well, all right. Did you have something else, Tina?
Your mom is so happy. Look at her. She's like a pig in crap. She's so happy. That's my daughter. That's my daughter.
That's my daughter. That's my daughter.
I'm
Like,
so proud of my baby. I'm so proud of my baby.
So I'm laughing
I
so
am
hard
so
because my
proud of
daughter is
my
sitting
baby.
right in front of me. And so when she heard that, she's laughing uncontrollably. So she's got me laughing.
Great job. Thank you. Very good job. I'll put this video in the chat for those that missed it.
You did
Okay,
a good job,
awesome.
baby. You did a good
Okay.
job, baby.
That's my niece in the background, y'all. Hey, Diggity.
Hi, guys.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
Getting up
ladies,
here, give you guys a heads up. Next month we're having a little black dress challenge. So next month is going to be even better than this
That's
month.
my challenge.
Prizes and stuff. So
that's right. That's right. Absolutely. So we're already planning and excited for that. Absolutely.